Hello everybody, I'm Sulin from the Wild Medicine Academy. I'm a herbalist and a naturopath and an educator, been in the industry for almost 20 years now. So I'd like to introduce you to the Family Myrtaceae webinar, which has been a wonderful process of creation and deeper understanding into the native plants in Australia. I'm going to tell you what the webinar is about and give you a sense of the takeaways, as well as the types of information that's contained. So let's have a quick look at the Family Myrtaceae. The Myrtaceae Family webinar runs for an hour and a half, and it's presented by myself. It's going to give you a really good overview and introduction to this incredibly important plant family in Australia. The myrtle family, in terms of tree mass, makes up about 80% of our native biosphere. So understanding the potential therapeutic uses of these plants, really being able to take the phytochemical knowledge and translate that into how a plant may be useful therapeutically is a really progressive thing to do right now, I believe. The purpose of the webinar is really to do what we do well in herbal medicine, and that is to look at plants in terms of their, not only their structure and morphology and that sort of thing, but their phytochemistry as well. So modern phytotherapy and herbalism does this extremely well. We will look at the phytochemistry and how any particular phytochemical translates into potential therapeutic action. So for instance, you will wonder, what does it mean to have 1,8-cineol in a volatile oil? Well, you'll learn after today just how many of the myrtle species do actually have this particular compound in their volatile oils and how that's translated into specific therapeutic actions and possible indications. The second thing that this webinar is about is being herbalists in Australia and really wanting a more Australian-centric Materia Medica. We all love our Materia Medica. However, we're moving forwards in a world where we're trying constantly to be more sustainable and to take much greater care of the land on which we live. And so this is about sustainability, and it's about introducing native Australian species. And the moment that we do that, and we introduce them into our Materia Medica, we develop this intimate relationship with the plants in the very same way that we have done with our sort of, I guess, combination of North American and European herbs currently. And I also think that once we have this intimate connection with plants as herbalists, that it then creates more of this progressive and revolutionary movement to make our work more sustainable and to encourage greater care of the land on which we live. And finally, on that pathway as well is discussing myrtle rust, which is a very invasive and dangerous pathogen at the moment that is threatening the myrtle species in Australia. I'm going to give you some direct examples of how it's doing this, tell you how the rust actually infects plants and the way, or its mechanism of action, so the way that it is actually contributing to this devastating effect. This webinar isn't about appropriating Indigenous knowledge. It is really about using the things and the tools and skills that we have developed over years and years as Western herbal medicinalists, but situating us in a slightly different context, the native Australian biosphere. I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land. They have a very unique and profound relationship to plants, to animals, to the land, to the sea, and the spiritual connection that they hold is so pure and so deep, and it's endured for thousands of years. So it is with the greatest respect that I come into this to hopefully create just a lot of inspiration and a lot of new learning for anybody who is keen and open and interested to learn. So that's what the webinar is all about. I welcome you to jump onto the website, have a look at the descriptions, the takeaways if you like. You will receive monographs in this presentation. You'll receive lots of recipes and even links to extra recipes. So the idea is really to make the webinar very practical for you and to give you lots of inspiration so that you and your beautiful self can benefit from these plants from today. Wishing you a lovely day, and do remember to check us out, Wild Medicine Academy, for a beautiful journey in learning herbs.